Floyd Wallace battles his own fans in a Saturday afternoon slugfest. Was he right to lash out about their lack of donations? Chili DeCastro does his all-time low viewership numbers on late Friday night and early Saturday morning. Is it the shadow banning striking again? Plus, Long Island Audits is among the losers in the GoFundMe market at mid-month. Did his fans wise up? Or is it just the Grinch at work? All this and more on this edition of Auditing Insanity. Good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Auditing Insanity Newscast brought to you by ReallyCoolNews. I'm AI Johnny Jones in for the weak human Jim Finch for another nightly newscast featuring all the people you love to hate or hate to love. We've got some great articles for you tonight, so let's dive right in as we ask you to focus on
DeCastro flounders in Friday night stream. It was another late-night live stream for Jose Chili DeCastro Friday night into Saturday morning as he gathered around 100 of his most ardent supporters for a 3-hour mess of a live stream centering on anti-police videos and a trifold giveaway that failed badly. DeCastro started the show by announcing that he would give away 8 of his indestructible trifolds during the show to anyone who needs them. The catch, of course, was that he wanted to fund the giveaways with sales of his trifold product, a daunting task as he only had a handful of his supporters in the room, averaging around 110 people, and most of them already had trifolds. The YouTuber sweetened the deal by claiming that he would throw in 2 extra trifolds and a set of 5 ACOP cards per order, along with giving away the extra trifold to another viewer with each sale. DeCastro's goal was 10 trifolds, funded by 10 sales, but only gave away 8 trifolds from an unknown number of sales during the 3-hour stream as DeCastro blamed his shadow banning by YouTube for his failure and turned his attention to his release by Christmas constitutional law scholar board game to bring him relief. He says he's working morning, noon and night on the product, which has been described as a wall board game and a modular board game, with the price point being $25 per module. He also has a feeling that the product will take the world by storm and bring him riches beyond his wildest dream. Doing the math and discounting DeCastro's wildly fantastic claims that he'll get the product in big box stores by the holiday, if DeCastro sold 1 unit to each of the 100 people who attended his live stream, he'd make a cool $2,500. That is, of course, before taxes, manufacturing costs, distribution costs, etc., and that's only if the same room, who failed to buy 10 trifolds for the hour at a similar price point, goes all in and buys his game. We guess weirder things have taken the market by storm. We've been told that the pet rock once took the pre-internet world by storm in the 1970s when life was boring and bleak and filled with angst to the point of cuddling a pet rock brought some happiness. As it stands now, without seeing the product, we aren't as convinced as DeCastro that this product launch will bring him the fame, fortune and meaning to live he thinks it will. DeCastro turned his attention to his health and shared that until he got food poisoning on Thanksgiving, he said that was eating candy and unhealthy foods based on his time in jail earlier in the year. He thanked his fans for supporting him as he was in jail, as the food was garbage, but it left with addicted to candy and unhealthy foods that he was working on breaking as he was fat now. Rounding out his broadcast, he claimed that he was shadow banned by YouTube, which resulted in his performance of 120 viewers at the peak of the broadcast. He made the statement that he used to regularly get between 1,000 and 1,500 live viewers during his broadcast, a questionable claim at best. DeCastro did not livestream on Saturday but is expected to go live later today.
Floyd Wallace lashes out at fans for lack of donations. Floyd Wallace went live on Saturday with a blunt statement for his fans. They haven't helped enough. He was down to a few $100s, and things were bleak as he was planning to save money by taking his next sexual conquest to McDonald's on a date later in the evening. He lashed out at his fans in his side chat, mercilessly banning longtime channel member Snow Travels for giving him a hard time in his side chat. He raged at the user, saying that he'd pay him back the money he owed him on his next YouTube payday and be finally done with him. Snow Travels, of course, was back in the room with a sock account within moments. Then Wallace reconsidered as Snow Travels as one of his main sources of income and unbanned him. In his anger, Wallace lashed out at his fans for the expectation that he should know Spanish in a Spanish-speaking country. He said that he tried to learn Spanish on his live streams by using a gaming-style learning app, but everyone complained that it was boring and not good content to feature. The YouTuber reminded his fans that he had learning disabilities and that he needed incentive to stick with anything long-term. In this case, donations from his fans to learn Spanish, to go out to clubs, and to meet women. Otherwise, he'd be content to lie in bed while live streaming. Wallace eventually was again angered by lack of funding from his fans. He tried to counter the lack of excitement in the room by offering strange things like various amounts for cold approaching women at a nightclub later in the night. Wallace went as far as to promise he'd get at least 3 numbers from women before giving up. After no takers for either offer, he soon offered immunity from banning and mod status to anyone for a year for an $80 donation to his Cash App. He got at least one pledge from that offer, and eventually, with the $100 needed to go to a club later in the night, he appeared to pledge that he would live stream from a club later that night. Of course, Wallace apparently decided not to go out later in the night, and the live stream disappeared from his channel and has been marked as private. Wallace would later release a blog featuring a bad date. He offered minimal commentary and no indication of what it was a date deemed bad. Wallace's only real commentary made it clear that he didn't pay his date to clean his Airbnb, as she volunteered to clean before he let her play on his VR headset. The rest of the video consisted of the pair waiting for her ride home, with Wallace uttering "what the fuck" as the video ended, leaving most of his fans to ask the same question. Wallace is expected to live stream again later today. Long Island audits flatlines at mid-month. Perhaps Jose Chili DeCastro was onto something the other day when he said that he hated trying to do fundraisers between Thanksgiving and Christmas, as the mid-month figures are in for the First Amendment auditing campaigns we follow, and things are bleak at best. December is the time of giving as people turn to the holidays to show their love for their family, appreciation for those they work with, and share kindness with strangers in hopes that their holidays are a little brighter with donations towards organizations to help the poor and unhoused. That kindness, it seems, does not extend to First Amendment auditors. Getting it out of the way first, our own ongoing expenses campaign leads the pack for the mid-month through some incredible donations by our viewers. Our hate watcher especially wants to torture us, as they're keeping both the YouTube channel and the newspaper alive with their contributions, all in the name of torturing us, by forcing a new column devoted to the wonders of GoFundMe each month. We have been thankful for contributions from everyone with $585.00s at mid-month, and are well aware that it was a one-time deal. We'll put the contributions to good use after a couple of Xmas gifts for our family, and renew some items early this year in hopes to stave off a mid-spring fundraising drive. That said, from there, things fall off a cliff as far as fundraising goes. The Angry Vet has pulled in $20 for the month. He's in second place and matches the $20 he pulled in for last month. Third place is a tie between Craig Hendries to support Craig's work, campaign, and Long Island audits, support the fight against tyranny and corruption campaign, both at $10. We don't have a top 5, as the last entry stops at position 4, with a $5 donation to Long Island Audits Support Freedom Stand Against Tyranny Together campaign, and that is literally it for the mid-month. A lot of it is due to the holiday season and people putting money into presents for friends and family. We think that contributions may pick up after Christmas, as the pending need for gift buying has people with a few extra bucks find something to contribute to. The auditors themselves aren't helping, as most have either been inactive, running old content, or simply ignoring the campaigns that they themselves have set up to help with dire needs by not promoting them. We've harped before, we'll harp again. If you're truly in need of help, you need to ask for help. If you're truly in need of a goal that relies on funding from the public, you need to promote that goal. People will not contribute if they don't know that you need help, and it's on your shoulders to say something and bust your ass to at least get the word out about your plight. Craig Hendry has a social media team in place. He has Chili DeCastro supporting him. He has a girlfriend who has done live streams in the past. He has people running his various YouTube channels. Falling from $885 taken in for November to $0 for December is mind-boggling. It doesn't make sense, and it's an example of a complete failure on someone's part to get the word out that Craig actually needs help. Long Island Audits, on the other hand, let's face it, he doesn't need the money. His 7 active GoFundMe campaigns are just a second serving of chocolate fudge on his triple chocolate cake with 7 layers of icing and sprinkles. His lack of effort is noticeable as he doesn't need the cash, and his funding is being kept alive by people who do drive-by donations. Everyone else? God only knows. It's just not happening. We had goose eggs for the 4th or 5th consecutive day on Saturday. We'll probably have goose eggs again on Sunday. And if we get to Tuesday and goose eggs, we may be able to finally end this column once and for all. Oh, joyous times. Just a few days away. Merry holiday to each and every one of you.
Journalism is not free. Both ReallyCoolSite.org's daily newspaper and our daily newscasts are funded by your continuing donations and what we make from our YouTube AdSense revenue each month. If you'd like to contribute to help us keep the lights on, eating, keeping the cats fed, and writing new stories to feature on both the newspaper and newscast each day, we do have a GoFundMe set up at the address on screen right now. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch the advertisements on our videos, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in.
And we're back. We've got nothing for you tonight. Join Jim and the gang tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. where it counts, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. on the left coast for our latest live stream right here on Really Cool News. Until then, be safe and dance like Chili DeCastro danced for Roy back when they had the time of their lives. Good night.